liberal hippie ass shit. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Adam, you're watching PictureLocked, and today we're gonna read some bad reviews for The Iron Giant, which, if you know me, you know this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I loved it as a kid, I still love it today. It can sort of do no wrong in my mind. But according to all of the negative reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, it does a hell of a lot of wrong. So I'm not looking forward to those, but here we go. One of the 3 American films that grown man children across the USA rave about. Despite that, it's still a good feature. Damn, I just got called out, I guess, huh? He says it's still good, though. Is it not okay to like something if it's good? Why am I a man-child for liking something that you yourself admit is good? Vin Diesel plays the Iron Giant. The movie is entertaining. What else do you want? I don't know, zombie. A little bit. I would like to know why you only gave it 2.5 stars. If it's entertaining and Vin Diesel was good. Political undertones to brainwash your child. Guns are not bad. People are. I don't actually think this movie has that much to do with, like, gun politics. It uses guns as a way to explore violence. Like, you can think of the Iron Giant as, like, a gun who has sentience and a conscience. And if a gun were to learn about its own purpose, what would it choose to do? Which I think is really interesting. And I definitely don't think it's brainwashing your children. Why haven't they made a live-action version of this yet? I always ask myself, every time Disney comes out with a new live-action remake, who the fuck is asking for that? Like, I never wanted a live-action Lion King. I never wanted a live-action Aladdin. I feel like no one wants that. I think I found Andrew, the one man alive who does. Good film, total ripoff from the Ted Hughes book, however. This movie is based on the Ted Hughes book. It's not a ripoff. The last name of the main character's name is Hogarth Hughes. That maybe should have been a hint for you, Mr. Leon. Great animation and voice acting combined with lame anti-gun BS. At least he gives it credit for the great animation, which is in fact great. I love it. I think the Iron Giant is fully CG, and it's one of the first films to actually do the blend. What is it called? Like deep depth. What the hell? The tech. Hold on, I'll Google it. It's called Deep Canvas. It was used on Tarzan, Atlantis, Treasure Planet. Super cool technology where they have a CG background and then they hand animate the characters moving through that background. Not actually what happened in the Iron Giant, because the Iron Giant has CG characters added into a hand-drawn environment. They also have CG vehicles and stuff. So not quite the same, but it's only like the 3rd movie, at least on this list that I'm looking at, to blend CG with hand-drawn animation, which I think is super cool. And the hand-drawn animation has this really great classic feel to it. I absolutely love the vibe of the hand-drawn animation, but then that, combined with that CG, elevates it and makes it feel really unique and really cool. Not so great. I only watched it to support Jennifer Aniston, who does the voice of the boy's mom. Michelle, I'm really sorry to be the one to break this to you. I'm sure you and Jennifer Aniston have just a great parasocial relationship. Jennifer Aniston does not need your help. I think Jennifer Aniston's doing just fine and doesn't need you to see this one kids movie for her. And especially, probably wouldn't want you to rate it 2.5 stars on her behalf because you watched it just for her. I are Iron Man, I can play that song on guitar. Nichelle is just letting us know. Thank you, Nichelle. I'm happy for you. That song is not in this movie. It's definitely not in this movie, but thank you anyway, Nichelle, and thank you for your 1-star review. A touching cartoon with an underlying tone of communism. So this film is set in a very paranoid mid-Cold War US, and I think it kills it with that setting. I love the way that it explores these ideas, and it explores how the US was just sort of, like I said, extremely paranoid of anything foreign, anything unfamiliar at this time period, which plays into the themes of the film really well. Expressing that the US maybe was not doing all that great during the Cold War, it has nothing to do with communism. This movie has nothing to do with communism. It has to do with the US's failings during the Cold War. And that's only a small part of it. That's more just a backdrop on which the themes of this movie contrast really well. They work well in that setting. A robot who can feel and has existential issues about who he chooses to be. We haven't seen that before, have we? Lillian, at this point, I've seen just about everything before in a different movie. If there was only allowed to be one movie about a general topic, we wouldn't get a lot of movies. Hate it. Thanks, Catherine. It's a kid's movie about a giant robot. What is there to hate this much? Saw this at the drive-in, then again with Eric. Who hasn't seen this with Eric? This Eric guy sounds cool as shit. If anyone knows Eric, tell him to hit me up. I don't get the praise for this movie. Poor acting, poor writing, and although the animation should be nostalgic, when everything else sucks, that makes it bad too. I don't know about that. I'm not gonna address his first few things. Those are subjective to a degree. So whatever, if he feels that way, that's fine. But him saying because he thought those other elements were bad, that also makes the animation bad is kind of wild. Like, if I had the fastest car in the world, it went 0 to 60, the fastest in the world, but everything else about it sucked. It was ass ugly. The interior was terrible. You had to sit on nails to drive it. That doesn't make it not the fastest car in the world. Like, just because one thing's bad doesn't make everything else bad inherently. That's such a weird critique. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Same review as before, this time a little bit more calm, lowercase. Why? Read the book and use your imagination. Because I like movies. Books are fine too, I guess, but they can both exist. I don't know. It's Sooked. I hate Disney. Not a Disney movie. Didn't have anything to do with Disney as far as I know. I cried, therefore I hate it to make up for loss of masculinity. At least you're honest, Matthew. And I will say, this movie very likely might make you cry. So if you're worried about, if you're too masculine to cry at a cartoon, maybe miss this one. Although that would be a real shame, so maybe get your shit checked out. I don't like fiction movies, says Jerry. That's fine, Jerry, but can I give you some free advice? Maybe next time, don't watch an animated movie with a giant metal man on the cover, because I think 9 times out of 10, that's gonna be fiction. Eddie loves this film. And this person must sure fucking hate Eddie because they gave it half a star. I found this movie Bid I Fall. It's like their phone maybe tried to correct it to Pitfall because their phone had no fucking idea what they were trying to say. And then they were like, no, I'll delete the space in the middle and just put an I in there. That looks right. This film was scored by Die Hard composer Michael Kamen. And then Alex gives it 2 stars because of that. I don't know what's wrong with Michael Kamen. He also did Lethal Weapon, I think, and he's a good composer. I don't know why that means it's 2 stars. I also will say that I really like the score for this movie. There are lots of songs that just get stuck in the back of my head sometimes, especially the ones that accompany the most iconic scenes of this movie. And although I don't think that the movie leans on its score too much, I think that it does a great job of playing up some of the really, really emotional scenes in this movie. Liberal hippie ass shit. This is not a very political movie. I don't know what's hippie ass about it. It's about a giant robot. My friends really raved over this, but I wasn't as impressed. One of my male friends said that this movie made him cry. Jeesh. Dudes are not allowed to cry, especially not in animated movies, under no circumstances. I've seen this movie a million times and it still definitely makes me tear up at the end. So I guess, what did the other guy call me? I guess I really am a man-child, huh? It was okay for a commie son of a bitch film! Jordan, man, holy shit. You gotta calm down. It's a kid's movie that has nothing to do with communism. Painting the US in a not necessarily 100% favorable light during the Cold War doesn't mean that it has anything to do with communism. This was scary. Don't like robots. That's fine, you don't have to like robots, but I will offer you some free advice. Maybe don't watch a movie called The Iron Giant with a giant robot on the cover of it. It's just like a pro tip. Jennifer Aniston plus Harry Connick Jr. plus Cloris Bleachman, I was trying to say, and then I just started record skipping. Wow! Jennifer Aniston plus Harry Connick Jr. plus Cloris Leachman plus Vin Diesel equals the hottest 4-way in the history of mankind. More like an Iron Giant dick. I don't know how to respond to that one. If it's the hottest 4-way ever, why did you only give it 2 stars? I guess Mr. Richard here, which is a fitting name, is upset that we didn't get to see the hottest 4-way ever. That's why he's only giving it 2 stars on this kids movie. Haha, I can't believe I've seen this one. Emma, I can't believe that you'd leave a review like this to baffle me. I have no idea what that means or why you only gave it 3 stars because of that. Curse this movie too. The damn liberals blaming guns for killing people is like blaming my pencil for misspelled words. Get off my back, hippies. That's not what the movie's trying to do. The movie is not saying that. What if your pencil could draw? That's what this movie's about. Not the damn liberals taking your guns away. Okay, that's all the reviews I've got for you today. That was a tricky one. I found myself just getting bummed out while I was reading through those, while I was trying to find them and pick them out for this video. Because I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's comfort food for me, and I think it might be for you too. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I highly recommend you check it out. I also do want to mention, if you want to hear me gush about this movie a little bit more, you can hear my extended thoughts on it in one of these corners. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell. Did that fuck up the focus when I put my hands up? What the hell, Sony? I mildly remember this, but not enough to know if it's any good. I think I saw this. It was okay. I do believe I saw this at one point. Don't know, ain't seen it for ages. I don't remember it at all other than I liked it. I think I've seen this. Don't really remember if I liked it or not though. Think I've seen all of it. A nice idea. I am gonna start a new series. What do you guys think of this? Where I review movies that I maybe saw, that I vaguely remember seeing. Apparently there's a lot of like fucking demand for these types of reviews because I've seen 40 of them while reviewing this movie. I've seen most of it. Does that count? No!